You guys want to see a cool trick? At this point, I'm sure we're all aware of the massive corporate giant that is Fender Incorporated. And I'm also sure you're aware of the time that I totally botched a sponsorship with Fender because I responded a couple days too late to their TikTok DM, and I seamlessly based my entire YouTube career off of that single moment. Today, we're gonna go over Fender's failures as payback. What are you gonna do about that, Fender? So how the heck did Fender get so popular in the first place? In the early 30s, Clarence Leonidas Fender was going to college for accounting. It's the ghost of Leo Fender. That thing just... Leo, you can come out now. Don't be led astray by the Hendrix posters. It's totally fine. I'm a sane person. Leo was going to college for accounting, and there was no place for a guitar company in this man's future. In the middle of the night, Leo was awoken from his rest, and an angel appeared from the window. Its guitar was completely upside down. None of that is true, but in 1946, Leo Fender did put his head down, solely focusing on building musical instruments, and a decade later, Fender sells their company to CBS for $13 million. Back in the 60s, that's a lot of freaking money. I skipped a lot of important Fender history because this video is not that. Many people believe this deal with CBS was Fender's breaking point. I mean, at the time, Leo was having severe health issues, so he effectively put his innovations in the hands of a massive corporate company. Sounds weird, right? Fender failure? There's no such thing. This is a picture of my very own guitar at the Stevie Ray Vaughan Memorial deep in the woods of East Troy, Wisconsin. My guitar. Stevie is rolling over in his grave right now. Back in 2019, I bought myself a Telecaster and a Stratocaster in one package. Back when Big F took the DNA of different Fender guitars and mixed them together like some kind of wicked homunculus, I was finally starting to understand what a good guitar feels like, and this guitar right here had an abnormal snap to it. So clearly this guitar uses two of Fender's most renowned instruments, but there was another instrument released with these two monsters back in the day. Fender doesn't like to talk about it much, but its history is full of failure. The Fender Jaguar. Kind of boils down to the fact that Kurt Cobain didn't exist back in the early 60s, but I digress. Originally, the Fender Jaguar was advertised as Fender's high-end model, but since prices were cheaper with the Telecaster and the Stratocaster, the Jaguar kind of got overshadowed. This guitar was discontinued in 1975. In my opinion, this guitar is the most similar looking to one of those old classic vehicles from back in the day. This particular Jaguar of mine has 5 pickup positions and add a phase switch. You can go from loud and chunky to thin and twangy. During the 80s, punk rock started to emerge. Then you'd see players like Johnny Marr of the Smiths, Thurston Moore of Sonic Youth, and of course, Kurt Cobain. Fun fact, this duct tape actually held Kurt's Jaguar in the bridge position because that's where he preferred it. The pickguards are surrounded with these metal claws that eliminate hum and concentrate the magnetic force that is being emitted from the pickups. This guitar is in a world of its own, so it kind of makes sense that the punk rockers picked up the Jaguar. Before all of that, the outlook for the Fender Jaguar was looking bleak. Back in 1962, Leo Fender wasn't exactly finished. I used to be the guy that would bug out over my pickup height. This next build would just blow all of that out of the water. From 1962 to 1966, we enter the years of the Fender Marauder, and we can all thank Kia Porky Freeman for coming up with this wild ghost pickup and ghost tremolo design. And the Type 1 model also includes a novel, hidden tremolo system. So Porky got his hands on a Fender Jaguar from 1963, and he modified the crap out of it. 4 wide, high-output pickups that include 16 pole pieces, 4 3-way switches, and 48 tones in total. The original Type 1 Marauder was ice blue metallic with a matching headstock. How beautiful. It proved to be an expensive production, so Fender dropped it. I think Rickenbacker made one prototype and then they just said, no, this is ridiculous. I think it will work this time. I jinxed myself, dude. 6 or 7 hours to build, and clearly it's not even finished yet. Yeah, I think I got these 2 wires mixed up. This is it. 4 ghost pickups hidden underneath a plastic pickguard. So naturally that kind of dulls the sound and it becomes a lot quieter of a guitar. Mark my words, one day I will purchase a Fender Marauder and have a video on it. But for now, I took a Dremel and pretty much cut up all the back plates for the tremolo systems in my Stratocasters. It's very bassy and very quiet. The Boomer work ethic is something we should all admire. Online guitar lessons? Ha! Boomer used his phone book to call the manager of his favorite band and receive lessons from the lead guitarist that night. Getting a degree online? Ha! Boomer worked construction and got jacked as a result. Maybe this ghost pickup design benefits more than one would expect. What was I learning? Tomo Fujita, of course. I swing my pickup height low enough so my strumming hand never really hits the pickups, but even still, I didn't notice any difference. It was all downhill from there. Following the deal Fender made with CBS, if you don't remember that part, it's when Leo Fender sold his entire company to a massive corporate giant, we'd enter the phase of the parts caster. CBS was trying to capitalize on all the spare parts they had from failed Fender models at the time. Doesn't get more corporate than that, does it? So the core of this issue started with the Electric 12, which was a guitar designed by Leo Fender that didn't do so great. The Maverick is made up of multiple spare parts that were left over from the Electric 12. And there was another guitar being constructed alongside of it, the Fender Swinger, the beginner-friendly, short-scaled little beast, little monstrosity you disgrace. Because Fender employees at the time decided to lacquer up the guitar neck first and then put the logo on, there's not one Swinger guitar alive today that still has its headstock logo on it. The Fender Stratocaster features an offset semi-hollow body with 2 massive humbuckers. And then you got another jazz box guitar, the D Acquisto. Kind of sounds like D'Angelico, but okay, Fender, go off. My favorite jazzy Fender is the Fender Coronado. I love how there's a Strat headstock on top of this hollow body guitar. It's completely hollow, by the way. The Coronado 1 and the Coronado 12 offered the wildwood finish, where builders would inject color dye into growing trees years before harvest. They tried reissuing the Coronado along with many other guitars in this list. Have you heard about them since? Other than Ayla Tesler Mabe, probably not. It's almost like CBS at this point just kept running from their problems. The Stratocaster specifically reaching a peak of popularity in 1975. What does CBS do? They cut corners to make production cheaper. That's where we get the 3-bolt neck plate, the wonky looking bullet truss rod. An executive at Yamaha, Dan Smith, who would soon work at Fender to try and turn this mess around, said, and I quote, "At that point, everybody hated Fender." This team of Yamaha executives would lead a $12.5 million buyout of the Fender Corporation. And that's when the company had a turnaround. We saw signature Stratocasters, the custom shop was opened in Corona, California. Get it? Money? And this team from Yamaha raised the overall net worth of Fender to $250 million in 1996. Throughout this time, Leo Fender was doing his own thing, and he created G&L. He did pass away in 1991, leaving his legacy in the hands of these Yamaha boys. And that's pretty much it for the 20th century. But thank goodness for players like John Lennon, Jimi Hendrix, at least, music related. If it weren't for the rock stars' influence of the 60s, there was a slim chance Fender as a company would survive. Let me know what you think of Fender nowadays. Are they effectively marketing to the correct audience? Are they making good instruments? I mean, heck, that's all that matters at the end of the day, right? Hopefully this video can give you a little bit of insight into Fender's growth and why the heck 1960s era Stratocasters are so dang expensive nowadays. Don't even get me started with the original Mary Kay 54 Stratocasters. I'm done. The video's over. Goodbye.